It's the best part of your Monday. It's Roll the Roll. I'm Benj,
I'm Chase.
I'm Dave.
and it's very exciting today because we're wrapping up the races. We're going to do this. We're going to need to move on to other stuff. But the last uncommon race and the last race in the Old Player's Handbook is the Tiefling. Chase, tell me about the devil.
I wasn't ready for it to be handed to me that way, but let me
It's
just get
you're
out my
never ready for
candle.
it.
Yeah, let me just get out
You're
my
never
candles and
ready.
pentagrams real quick. Hold on. So anyway, hi everybody. I'm going to talk about tieflings, which are actually used to be my favorite race of fifth edition, up until the point where I really didn't like bringing in deities of both the light and dark aspect into my campaigns. I just got tired of that storyline around my characters. But anyway, the nuts and bolts of what you guys need to know. Tieflings, they actually changed them a little bit in this edition compared to older editions. The one thing that's pretty much still the same is they get a charisma bonus. And this one, their additional side bonus is intelligence, which is a little different than how it's been in the past. But I guess being a devil baby makes you smart. Who would have thunk it? Past that, as far as age goes, tieflings are pretty much just humans. I mean, they live a little bit longer, and I wish I could just stop bringing up age at all because it just hardly ever comes up. But just so you know, that's good bit of info for you. Size, they're medium. They're pretty much the exact same size as a human. 30-foot speed, the normal dark vision. They actually only have the 60-foot dark vision, which I thought was kind of weird when you think about Drow having 120 and them having fiendish blood in them. But I guess it makes more sense since they're not even half breeds; they're like quarter breeds. So 60 feet sounds reasonable. They also have hellish resistance, which gives them resistance to fire damage because, well, you know, hot fire. They also have an ability called Infernal Legacy, which essentially gives them some extra spells. Oh, hey, they're kind of like devil spells. Crazy how that works. One of the neat things about it, though, is you get more as you level up, which is kind of interesting. You don't see that in many of the other races. That's pretty cool. And then as far as languages go, they just get common, and a interesting one, which you don't see spoken much in many campaigns, is Infernal, but it's kind of nifty to have that weird language. I also want to bring up that in another book, Sword Coast, there is a variant for the demon side of these guys. We won't talk about it here, but just know if you want a tiefling demon baby as compared to a tiefling devil baby, there's an option out there for you. But anyway, I guess we'll start with Dave on what he thinks about them, and then we'll come back to me.
I have not played a Tiefling yet in 5th edition. I played a couple in 3rd edition and I really liked them. I also like them in 5th edition. Their charisma and intelligence score increases are different from earlier editions, like you said, but they still make sense to me. What with the whole making the deal with the devil thing. Yeah, the spells they get are pretty cool. They get the Thaumaturgy Cantrip, which is one of those, like, do lots of cool little effects that they don't have any mechanical thing, but they're cool little things, including my favorite, the bust a door open in front of you to walk in all cool. That's an awesome effect. And
The best
Thaumaturgy
RP
does
spell
that.
ever.
Best RP spell ever, because you could just bust every door down when you walk in and just, boom, pop them all open. For
Yep.
no good reason, because why wouldn't you if you could? Then they have the same spell progression as the Drow get from their thing. So at 3rd level, they snag Hellish Rebuke, which is kind of cool. It's one of the few spells that's based on, like, using your reaction to cast a spell. And then they get Darkness also at 5th level, which, again, you should never cast it. You're a terrible person if you cast Darkness. Don't do it. It's bad.
I mean, it's your escape button spell. Like you go, oh
It's
no!
your escape button spell, but you can't see through your own escape button. Unless you
Well,
plan
you
ahead
can
for
run
that.
away.
Well,
Like you
that's
put
true. I
the
guess I'm
enemies
just
in
not as smart
darkness
as
and
you
they're
are.
confused.
Okay, I'm not smart. Okay, let's move
Well,
on.
okay. I'm supposed to argue with you here, right? Like,
You are. I, I do like tieflings. I'm planning on playing one sometime soon. I just haven't quite figured out what. Benj?
Bench?
Benj?
oh, I didn't. Again, my internet didn't tell me you were talking, so I didn't hear the pitch to me. If you look at the just the number stuff in the book, there's not a lot there. So it looks like tieflings don't get much. They don't really call to me. It's not something that I especially feel drawn to play, and that's fine. You don't have to like all the races. I really don't like elves. I'm pretty much ambivalent to tieflings, but then you look at in resistance to fire damage is kind of a huge deal. Like there are a lot of creatures and a lot of spells and a lot of
Fireball.
effects that deal fire damage, and you don't care. You take half of that. So, oh no, I didn't save my fireball. I'm still gonna take as much damage as the guy over there who did. So, it's that's super swell, and that's really a big deal. The extra spells, thaumaturgy is awesome, and also a cleric only cantrip, which is interesting that they gave it to the uh, the
Don't
guy
say
with
it.
the infernal devil bloodline. Hellish Rebuke, that's actually really cool. Once a day, you can hurt somebody who hurt you. That's actually really cool. Kind of, I'm almost with Dave on the darkness. Like, it's not something that I'm going to have in the forefront of my mind, but in a pinch, you know, darkness. The charisma and the intelligence kind of pushes your tiefling towards spellcasting classes.
Yeah.
That's really where you're looking at. You're looking at, and all of them, not all of them, not cleric and druid, but wizard, sorcerer, warlock,
Arcane casters.
yeah, yeah, bard. They're all a good option. Rogue is not a bad option because rogues benefit from intelligence since you use investigation to find traps. Yeah,
You also get cool
that's
things
pretty
like
much.
evasion.
You do also get cool things like evasion, but
Stacks
that's
well with that hellish resistance.
for rogues. So you don't really need. You don't have to worry about half damage from a fireball if you make your save because you're going to take no damage.
Yeah.
But that's my look at it is they don't call out to me, But I don't play a lot of arcane casters. I mean, I'm playing a bard now, but that's because bards are awesome, not because they're arcane spellcasters. But we'll talk about that
Well,
in another 2 or 3 episodes. 4
well,
episodes.
I guess I'll take
Wow.
the reins then.
Yeah, go for it, man. Go for it. I don't
Okay.
have a lot to say. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I mean, this is definitely a class that is more of a me thing because I've come to the conclusion, whatever. So by the way, internet, whatever classes, races that Binge doesn't like or doesn't feel much about, I probably really like them and have a good amount to say about them.
And that's
probably
why
how this
we
is
make
going to go.
a great team on the show, It's the idea.
So I want to do a little bit of the mechanical side real quick, and then I'm going to start the role playing part because I got a few good parts of that for the tiefling. Just for the number side of things, and the classes side of things, yeah, they're made to be casters. And so what we were talking about earlier with the number of different stuff, initially they didn't really have an intelligence bonus. They were definitely, or in the older edition, is made to be more sorcerers and warlocks, more charisma and dexterity. I think the reason wizards went with intelligence was for kind of what we've been saying, is they really wanted them to be a caster and to be any type of caster that you may want to be. So if you wanted to be a wizard, you can now. I mean, that bonus is there for you. In older editions, I'm 90% positive it was dexterity and charisma because, your parents were a devil, so you're stealthy. Yeah. But anyway, that was just my little numbers point of why I think that it is the way it is now. As far, I'll save classes for the end. As far as role playing stuff goes, really like tieflings. It's kind of weird for me that tieflings are kind of a legit race by wizard standpoint. Like I know in my world they're a race, but they're not a big one. They are like the tiniest size race you can be to be considered a race of the world. Because how many devils are going around doing things to people where there's a race of you?
A lot.
Well, it's
They're
definitely. I mean, they're still in the uncommon section, Chase.
Yeah. So anyway, in my world, they're a very tiny race, and wizards, they're still uncommon, like we were saying. But as far as role playing goes, I really like them because it works great for a party. Because tieflings, in case you didn't know, are generically really slow to trust people because no one really trusts them. But what I love is the verbiage they have in the player's handbook, and I use this for actually my first tiefling, where they're very slow to trust, but once you earn their loyalty, they are essentially the best friends you could ever have. They would put their life on the line for you because you've earned that title of friend to them, and that's how I always play my tiefling. Like levels 1 through 5, I mean he'll do stuff, he'll help the party, but he's generically not cool with them yet. As compared to later, where if someone's about to die, my tiefling would jump in front of that blow to take the hit because that's his friend. What's that?
Friend.
Oh God, yes. The other thing that is kind of weird about tieflings is names, which we don't bring up a whole lot. So they have generic names, which are kind of cool because they always give them like an old, like almost Latin archaic name. But the other cool things that tieflings can do is take a virtue name, like a creed name. And actually, I think Creed's Creed is literally one of the options in the book.
Creed is one of the options.
Yeah, so they can have a name like Despair, Glory, because, I just think that's one of the coolest things. Like, hi, I'm Glory. How's it going? Yeah, I know. I got red skin and horns. Don't worry about it. It's cool. Which is also...
I thought you said Gloria.
No, just Glory.
That would have made sense. No,
nice
I know.
try. No,
I'm
sorry.
not funny.
Sorry.
Carry on.
Because I've always wanted to play a tiefling paladin named Glory. It's on my list of things to do in the future, but at this point, just so I'm not taking up the entire feed, I will pass it off to Dave to bring up classes and anything else he wants to bring up.
So, for role-playing real quick, what Shay said pretty much works for me too. They're another outsider race because they don't have a land of their own. There is no tiefling land or nation or anything like that. They just kind of fit in.
There's the Abyss.
There's the Abyss if
that's
your
where the
DM
demon
is
ones
go there.
Yeah, and then there's the 9 hells for the other ones.
There you go.
On the prime material plane, if I can get into that kind of wording, there's no land for them. And the book says that they typically grow up to be swindlers, thieves, or crime lords. I mean, yeah, because that's just the way they lean because they're devil children. But they can do better than that if you try. And then, as far as like we look at class synergies, charisma and intelligence is going to be your sorcerer or your warlock or your bard. Those are the 3 things they're probably the best at. They can work wizard in a pinch too because they do get that bump to intelligence and they get a couple of cool spells to go with it. I also think they would make a pretty good or pretty interesting paladin rather because they get that charisma and a lot of paladin abilities are keyed off of charisma. But yeah, like I said, I haven't played one yet, but I think they could be really fun and they leave themselves open to several different classes. If we look at things that seem antithetical to the tiefling, like a tiefling ranger or druid makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever, because I don't see why tieflings would care about nature.
Definitely druid. I don't see druid at all.
And like any kind of full martial class, like a barbarian or fighter, don't make as much sense because tieflings don't seem like a martial race. I could be wrong, largely because as I'm looking over here, my girlfriend played a tiefling barbarian for a while, and was good at it, and she enjoyed it, I think. Yeah, I'm getting the nod. She did. So yeah, it doesn't make sense in my brain for them to be a full martial because I guess I just have the picture of them being a smart casty, or like in 3rd edition they lean towards being rogues because they got dexterity and intelligence, and that's just kind of stuck in my brain. But anyway, Benj?
I think you could find a good role-playing opportunity in playing a tiefling cleric, because some of the cleric stuff does key off charisma. They are proficient in charisma saving throws, so the little bump there would be all right. And then your choice of deity could be a lot of fun, because not only do you need to pick the deity that's right for you, you need to make sure that deity wants your help.
Friend.
And I'm gonna leave it at that. That's you ponder that on your own time. And maybe maybe come to a conclusion for yourself.
Yeah, the only thing I can add from a role playing and class side is another player of mine who I played some 4th edition with back in the day. Always played a tiefling warlock, and you're thinking, oh, okay, he played a tiefling warlock because, oh, hey, he's a devil baby and he can make a pact with the devil. All right, that
in all
makes
fairness,
sense.
In all fairness, like tiefling does look like it is custom made for warlock, and warlock is custom made for tiefling. Like they feel like they're like barbarian is custom made for half orc. Like they just feel like they go together, like things that go together.
But see, here's the best part. he always played a Fey-Pack Tiefling Warlock. And every time I was always like, why though? And he always had the same. He was kind of a player who always kind of played the same character as a cookie cutter for every campaign. And it was always the Tiefling running away from, the infernal ancestry and was going to the Fae for help. Like the powerful Fae to stop it. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Battle between Fae gods and devils? Ooh, yes.
I could see
Yes.
that. He's not going to want to ask his dad for more power.
Yeah, exactly. So there's ways you can twist and turn even the most common of stuff is all I was trying to say with that. So don't feel like just because you want to play a Tiefling Warlock that you're playing the same thing that's always been played. There's always a way to twist it and make it work and unique for you. But that was my last bit of 2 cents in there.
Cool. All right. Well, again, guys, we're trying to build a community. Like, subscribe, share, tweet, toot.
Hail Satan.
Tell your friends. Tell your friends to tell their friends.
Really, Chase?
So we can all be friends. I'm Benj.
Say friends 3 more times.
I'm Chase. Hail Satan.
I'm
I'm Dave.
You know what? Keep on rolling.